The population is growing, but the amount of people in that sector isn't growing to meet up that population. Now, in Nigeria alone, every day we give birth to 6,000 babies, added to our current population, which is over 2 million. 200 million, sorry. The big question is, if we give birth to kids as high as 6,000 babies every day, where's the food to feed them? Where are the silos that this food has been kept? We have large, vast, arable lands, but what do we do with them? They lie fallow. A lot of us see agriculture as a dirty man's business. But that's not what it is. If you are a farmer today, and you know what you're doing, and you have the right management skills, and you have the right technical skills, you can have a farm and have a duplex as your office, the same way banks have big duplexes as their offices, the same way the NNPC has a very big tower. Agriculture has a capacity to give you that. But the question is, do you know how to go about it? That's the big question. I met somebody that wanted to do an integrated farm, and the integration was fish pond and a greenhouse. Very great investment. And he had invested money and already completed the fish pond and wanted to start. And then we're in a conversation, and I was just like, so hope you know that when you start your fish pond, you can't wake up in the morning and rub and have your bath, or rub cream or spray body spray on your hands or anywhere and go feed your fish, or worst of all, put your hands inside the water. And I was like, what would happen? I said, yes, now, all your investments will die immediately. Now, you can imagine somebody that had the idea of doing such a very unique investment does not have access to that very minute information. Not just it's small, but it is major. Because if he had invested 7 million or 10 million there, just one act of not having simple basic knowledge would have wiped it out. Tomorrow he will come and say, Agric is not lucrative, right? We had somebody that came and said he did a plantain plantation, and water just came and flooded everything. And he was just complaining and saying, Agric, I've tried all my best, I've done this, I've done it, I've never succeeded. I'm like, at the time you were going to check the site for your plantain plantation, which expert did you take there? He couldn't answer me. Because an expert would have seen the topography of the land and told him that, hey, it is possible that this place can get flooded. So what mitigation plans do you have? So he just did his plantain, said he gave it out to people. Wise man, did the plantation, now rented spaces for people to do agriculture, which means he has cut cost on the cost of weeding that farm. Because if he has people farming inside within the spaces on the plantation, he saves him that cost. Wise thinking. But what happened? One flood came, everything gone. So it is very key that technical knowledge is very, very important for you to succeed in agribusiness. Now, the main aim is to push our minds to know that agribusiness is the way to go. Nigeria is over 200 million. If you make 1 naira from what just a subset of 1 million eat every day, how much do you make? Our eyes are going up. How much do you make? If you make just 1 naira from what 1 million people eat every day, how much do you make? Is there any job on earth today that can pay you 1 million naira every day? But people wake up every single day and eat food. We have eaten here today. Do we know where the food came from? Do we? We might say we know the caterer, but do we actually know where the food came from? Do you know the farmer that produced the rice you ate today? Have you met him before? Do you have his phone number? But he has made money because you have eaten today. Same way every other farmer has made money across board in Nigeria. Not just Nigeria, in Africa. Not just Africa, across the world. Agriculture is the only thing that has a lifetime guarantee. It is sure, it is a guarantee that if you put 2 seeds on the ground here, After 3 months, you will come here and harvest more than 10 cobs if you do the right management practices. If you invest your money in Forex, today dollar is what? 5 something. Tomorrow it might drop to what? 4 something. Next tomorrow it might go to 900. But if you follow every principle of agriculture and you put seeds on the ground and you follow all the principles, the soil test, the soil management, the management principle of planting that corn, it will give you results in 3 months. You can do the same thing in Abuja, in Lagos, in Port Harcourt, in Zamfara. It is guaranteed. So what better place to invest your time, your resources, your efforts in agriculture? And agriculture has gone beyond just farming with hoe and cutlasses. I believe that's what scares people. The fact that when they talk about agriculture, all they hear is hoe and cutlass. No. There are smart ways to do agriculture today. People grow yams instead of doing heaps. They grow yams in sacks. There's something called aeroponics. They grow agriculture in the air. Hydroponics, they do farming in water. Okay? So there's a lot of development going on in agriculture. The question is, are we ready to take advantage? If feeding 1 million people in Nigeria alone, of course, which we know that more than 1 billion people would eat, whether you like rice or it's only beans you like. There are two things, major. There's Coca-Cola and there's Pepsi, right? Now, if you like Coca-Cola, anytime you go buy a drink, you must want to look for Coca-Cola first, right? But when you don't find Coca-Cola, what's the substitute you will take? So the day you take Pepsi, you have given money to Pepsi. Or you're constantly giving money to Coke. So if Pepsi just decides to capture half of the market that Coca-Cola has, are they making money? Because people must eat every day. So whether you like egusi or not, there's somebody outside Nigeria that likes egusi that would want the farmer in Nigeria to farm egusi and send to him wherever he is. Would that farmer make money? So anybody that's farming egusi and has not sent egusi outside Nigeria, what is he lacking? Information, knowledge. So we try to tell people that seek good knowledge in agribusiness because it is the future. It is the future. It is the one thing that has a lifetime guarantee. I've been in it. I'm in it actively. So I'm always excited when I get a chance to talk to people about agriculture and agribusiness. So not everybody has to go to the field and dig the soil. You can invest in logistics. Just moving products from one location to another. And you're making money. And you're in agribusiness. You can invest in storage. Just your big compound that has a very big space. Just build a warehouse there and tell people, you want to store products? I have it for you. People are looking for storage. I am looking for storage to store agricultural products. And people will pay you to store their products there because you have a storage facility. There's somewhere in Bauchi where they have a 30,000 metric tons silo, and it's underground. It's underground, storing food. So the day that food gets scarce in Nigeria, they will determine the price of food. Scarcity will bring about an. For me, most of the time, I don't like to speak too much on the importance and the relevance of agriculture. We all know what the relevance is. And I'd like to tell you a short story about myself before I tell you the opportunities in agriculture and agribusiness. When I was about going to school to study the agriculture, I studied agricultural economics from Landmark University, Omaron. And at the time I wrote the exams, I had 2 admissions. I had one in Futmina and had the admission in Landmark University. And then I think the one in Futmina was survey, quantities was survey, and I had agricultural economics. And my dad was wondering, where do I go? And while we were growing up in secondary school, and they will ask, what do you want your career and ambition to be? You hardly see anybody that runs towards farming. Everybody, I was an engineer until I entered university. No, honestly. I was an engineer till I finally entered university. And at the time, I was contemplating, hi, how would they say I'm doing agriculture, agric? Like the question that the MC was asking me. MC, can you crack joke from now till tomorrow, and after the joke, food appears on your table? It depends. Would like to see you watch that magic. Now, no mathematician can write any form of formula, and after writing that formula, he goes to bed and wakes up, and that formula converts to food. No doctor can prescribe any drug and tell you that be taking this drug for the next 100 years, you will not be hungry. It's not possible. No lawyer can quote any law and say from anywhere that don't eat food, you will survive. All of these persons. So, as I was saying, when I went to school, all the engineering students will look at you and say, this Agric student, the way they used to call it, stigmatization. They will say, this Agric student, what are you looking for here? So it was more like, this one they call us Agric. That my school did one very bad thing. Each college had, so the engineering students were red, the business and social sciences were blue, and Agric was the typical green. So you cannot even hide. It shines bright. The other people that had red, you might not even see them. Even in the dark, you will see the green. And so we're mandated to always put that on. So you can't even hide your identity. But it was still, we got to 300 level. I now knew the importance of what I was studying. And no matter who you guys are, at the end of the day, you end up in the cafeteria to eat. I'm like, in my school back then, you can't eat one square meal without spending up to 1,500 naira. But you're putting money in somebody's pocket and you're eating food. So all the Greek students that you're telling me, don't worry, I'm building myself up to come and collect this same money that you're spending. And today is a wonderful one. I'm so excited to talk about agribusiness and agriculture. It excites me so much because at the end of the day, it will come back to me. So all your mathematics that you studied and all the law that you studied during COVID-19 lockdown, come back to me. So if I choose to sell my product to you, fine. If I say, no, you that was calling me a Greek, I don't want to give you. So who holds the power at the end of the day? We are the first profession that God created. God created the garden and said, my guy, Alpha, manage them. Okay, all the animals. And the three basic things of our lives entirely cost across agriculture. What are the three basic things for human life? Food, clothing, and shelter. Is there anyone you can do without agriculture? Please clap for me, brother. There is none. There is none you can do without agriculture. There is none. Agriculture has the capacity to employ more Nigerians than any other sector. If you go to the Federal Ministry of Agriculture, it has more parastatals than any other ministry. Agriculture has the capacity to employ over all the 300 million employment that they are calling. It's not an NPC that can provide it. It's Agric. It's food production that can provide it. But what's the challenge? They've not created the enabling environment to ensure that youth can do it. And now Agric is not just for farmers. Agric is for everybody. There's something called agricultural engineering. So even as much as you're an engineer, you can be an engineer in agriculture. In agriculture, there's something called farmhouses. Who builds them? Not the farmer. The engineers construct the houses. The pens for the poultry beds, the pen for the piggery, whatever pen you want to construct. It has to be an engineer that will construct it. So there's an opportunity for every sector. The agricultural farms need lawyers to document their products when they're going out. So if somebody is trying to sue your product for lack of quality, there's a lawyer that will stand for you. The agribusiness needs ICT. Today you have drones doing all the fumigation. You have technology where satellite imagery can tell you where to put fertilizer and where not to waste your money and put fertilizer. The economics of agriculture is fast becoming low so that we can get more productivity. And we call that smart agriculture. So if you used to get 10 tons of product in an acre, smart agriculture can give you 20 tons. just by knowing what to do. So it cuts across all levels. No matter what you are doing and what you think you do, you're relevant to food production. The IT guys are relevant. The engineers are relevant. The lawyers are relevant. Any other profession, the doctors are relevant. Because you know why they're relevant? Mushroom is a very key agricultural product in medicine and pharmacy. Mushrooms. When last did any of us eat mushrooms? We don't eat mushrooms. Very healthy product. Very healthy product. So let me just quickly go through the opportunities we have in agriculture. Like I said, the demand for food will continue to soar. So this is just to encourage us to know that we need to begin to look towards agriculture. First is because the demand for food will soar in proportion to the population growth that we have. Okay? We're growing at a fast rate, at a much more increasing rate that we can even imagine. And the food production ratios are not increasing in that light. So we need an 80% increase in what we're currently producing to be able to feed the world as it is currently today. So that's one guarantee. That because the population is increasing, food productions need to increase. And who would do that? You and I, if we start looking at investing in agriculture. Okay? So Africa can feed itself. Okay? In the rural village of Kura, in Kano, farmers lose half of their produce due to post-harvest losses. Now, if we invest in storage, we invest in logistics, we invest in transportation, we invest in preservation, would that loss still happen? And all of this investment will be paid for. Farmers they don't just access resources and not pay for it. It has to be paid for because it's called what? Value chain. Okay? You see, Africa has the capacity to feed the world. Africa is home to about 60 to 65% of uncultivated arable land, 10% of renewable freshwater resources, and it has registered 160% increase in agricultural field production, food production. In fact, the Democratic Republic of Congo alone can feed 2 billion people, according to estimates. Just one country in Africa. You see, just like China is dominating the world of manufacturing, so is Africa dominating the world of food production. You see, agriculture is more about technology than land mass. So it's no longer how many hectares of land you have, is what level of smart agriculture do you know? So with our land mass in Nigeria, if we can adopt technologies to produce and increase our production rate, we'll do twice the number of what we're doing now. Because it's not just about land mass. I think in the Netherlands, Rwanda is twice as big as Netherlands. But Netherlands' import and export ratio is way, way higher. As of 2 years ago, they did 92 billion on exports. How? They are using smart agricultural technologies to produce food. There in Netherlands, across the world, you have a 10 tons return on potato from 1 acre. In Netherlands, they have 20 tons from that same 1 acre. So what are they adopting? Technology. We need to look at that. Africa is yet to experience the Green Revolution. At the time Green Revolution was going across the world, where people were already getting synthetic chemicals and ways to improve agriculture, was when Nigeria decided to discover oil. So we left everything behind. And now, I'm glad that currently now we're trying to retrace our steps back to what it is that we've been doing. It's been a great ride. We're seeing a lot of changes and development, although too many hitches going on. But by the grace of God, we will get there. Okay? So, 9 countries make up 60% of the total agricultural potential. And more than half of that in Africa, these 3 countries has. Ethiopia, Nigeria, and Tanzania has more than half of the arable land in Africa entirely. So, let's speak as Nigerians. We have the capacity to feed ourselves and the world. What are we doing? And agriculture does not just stop you from doing what you're doing. Even if you can't do it actively, you can invest in it. You have the capacity to invest in agriculture, and because it has a lifetime guarantee, you get the best of what you have done. Okay, so As I wind up, I would just like to say this to encourage the women in the building today. So women are increasingly taking up the challenge in agriculture. Almost 50% of what we consume in Africa are produced by women. So they categorize a very large labor force in agriculture. They are the backbone of agriculture. Please, all the women here should please give a round of applause for themselves. So there's no better thing to say than to say, let's think agriculture. Let's invest in agriculture. Let's participate in the food production index of Nigeria, because soon we'll be praying that, hey, if I had known the $1 trillion sector called agriculture is going to grow faster than we can imagine. So no better time than now to plow into the system and plug yourself in to begin to reap the benefits of agribusiness. So I'd like to say thank you and hope that more of us will continue to do agribusiness and promote agricultural investment. Thank you, and God bless you.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Mr. Bernard. Yeah, we can make the clap louder. Okay, so thank you. Thank you. Now, I'm here to tell you or to support what he said. And in a way of rounding it up, I'd like to tell you the first business or job in the world is agriculture. How many of you believe that? Even God gave us the mandate to go and till the soil and produce. What we said? Be like I no quote that part well, Abi. I did well. Okay. So, on men. Oh, Adam first. So, mommy, now we go to till now, now go to chop. Which kind of be that now? Say, as mommy just point them out to say it's for the men. Oh, so and they said women are, we just clap for women now for contributing how many percent? 3. 80. You can't say now we. Mommy, I think it's for the women. Oh. Agriculture is for the women. Right? No, agriculture is for all of us. We need to actually till the soil. You know, gradually people are leaving the farm. Everybody wants a white-collar job. Everybody wants something that will give him sharp money. Yeah, you all know that agriculture takes about 6 months, right? Most of when you plant, it takes almost 6 months before it becomes a full product. Yeah. Now, so a lot of people feel it's easier for them to go and work and earn every month salary. But I'm here to tell you that you can actually be employer of labor when you own an agricultural farm. I know a man who is building in one of the biggest estates here in Abuja, and all he does is poultry farming. And I wonder how. There's a poultry farm just next to me, not very far away from my house. The man is running in millions as profit. There's much to say about agriculture, but all you need to do is, if you don't have a side hustle, or you don't have a main hustle, look into agriculture. So ladies and gentlemen, on this note, I go back to why we are here today. You know, we learn. As much as we learn, we also renew our spirit in God, all right? So today, the best way we communicate is by sharing our testimony in full gospel. And we have someone who is here to share his testimony. He is a very special person. He worked with the Reliance International. Ladies and gentlemen, he is no other but Mr. Gideon Etakefe. Please, a round of applause for him as he takes over the microphone to share his testimony. It's about time we hear the testimonies that will motivate us, that will put us back in line. Please, a round of applause for him. Thank you so much, sir.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We have just heard about physical food. And to make this come true, we need the spiritual food. And in full gospel, we are laymen. We're not pastors or deacons or whatever. We talk stories. of our journey to salvation. We are all in the same line of thought because just this afternoon I was talking with my boss in the office. This same word this man said is what he said, that Africa can actually feed the whole world. Africa can actually feed the whole world. But like he says, we have to go spiritual because there's a lot of things needed for this thing to come true. The most important one, security. When there's security, people can go to the farm. Before we now talk about infrastructures, good roads, before we talk about storage, which means that I can have a farm in the inner village, and when my products are ready, it can easily come to the city. And you need what? Electricity. Today, I will start by saying, I'm happy to see more young people here. Clap for yourselves. Because in my journey to salvation, I wondered how the Western world lost it. And we are still going that path. But I'm happy that we have young ones here who are interested in getting close to God, instead of what we find in the Western world today. Most churches in Europe and the other are empty. All you see old men. And they've gone astray. Today, we have to talk to our young ones now to come, not to be discouraged. Because there are a lot of things that are, in fact, when you hear them, you won't be, I, for one, won't believe. Because I don't think at my age, when we're growing up at 14, I was thinking about Yahoo. I want to drive a brand new Lamborghini or whatever. I don't think I had that mindset. Like he said, I'm Gideon Etakefe. I'm from Delta State. I'm a husband of one female wife, because now we have male wives everywhere. So I have to let you know that I have one female wife with 3 wonderful daughters. I was born as a Jehovah's Witness. And as a Jehovah's Witness then, we were taught that our focus should be paradise here on earth. So most things, like you want to struggle, you want to be this, you want to be that, I want to be a director, I want to be this, is not even a priority. In fact, you can preach the word round the clock just because you are focused. And funny enough, or good enough, the materials they have as Jehovah's Witnesses are so educative that sometimes you don't be a university graduate to know what is going around the world. Either you read the Awake or you read the Watchtower. But at the same time, when we were growing up, I attended St. Paul's College, Usasa, Zaria. When I went into secondary school, that is the first step that you will know. I'm talking to parents in this case as well. That when you're sending your children out of the home to go to boarding school, take time to pray a lot. Because that is where the beginning of my journey of spiritual warfare began. The first day I got to Kufina College, I was given a bird. Not like now you pay school fees or anything. Sometimes you just walk into, if you know, I'm not trying to be insult another part of it. But you see, in their booking settings, some of them just come to school like this. Bed is given to you. Mattresses are given to you. Plates, even uniforms were given to you. And when you want to go home, they give you transport fare. And sometimes they have to beg you to even read. It was all over the place. And the first day I got into my hostel, Kalejaya House. As a Jehovah's Witness, we are good at reading, but in my own case, I'm good at reading novels. James Hadley Chase, Nick Carter, call them anything. And that day I was on top of my double bunker reading, and it was lights out. And somebody just say, a boy there. That is the first day. I don't know what's going on. I said, so what? You mean you are still awake? Calm down. Immediately say, calm down. Another senior just came there. Please leave him. This is my Suki. That is the first step of getting astray. These guys, they were supposed to be my senior now and to be my protector. They were into smoking cigarettes, smoking in their hand. And I become their friend. Automatically, I started smoking. I started drinking. And as an Urobo man, I wouldn't say I want to laugh about the Urobo, but it's part of culture. And the Jehovah's Witness alcohol doesn't mean anything. So we also take ogogoro as well. And by the time I came home the first time, my father was like, what happened? A Jehovah's Witness? He now said, very good. He said the best thing he will do is to make sure he prevents me from getting money. But when you attend a school as Kufina College, as a Zaria, you cannot lack anything. Because most of the children of the wealthy guys attend that school. Both from Lagos State, Ogun State, all over Nigeria, they come to that school. So basically, I lack nothing. So at the end of the day, I was just cruising according to your present English. I will speak broken sometimes because I'm an Urobo man. I'm from Delta State. So as I was saying, it got to a point whereby I got to a particular level. I went for Oluyole 79 Sport Festival. I performed for Kaduna State. And funny enough, my father was shocked that